What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel. So we're at day 2 here and the final day of this accent ceiling. John is inside right now doing some sanding and getting some prep work done while I'm out here cutting up some panel moldings. I've already cut up quite a few of them and I'm going to show you how I do that. And it's really simple, it's just a bunch of 45s, but there's a little bit different way you have to cut them. It's a real easy, just on-site jig that I make. I want to make a more permanent one and I'll probably do that in another video, go into more detail. But we got to be done today and I'm going to show you guys as much as I can given the time constraints that we have. So I like cutting these small pieces of trim on this little 7 1/4 Milwaukee. Here's a little offcut here. The offset panel molding, you can see it has that notch at the top. Well, that actually rests cradled in position like a crown molding, and it'll actually go up to about, I think this one goes to 1 3/4 inches. So you can cradle it about that high or so. But I've got it set up like this. Now this little jig that I just make on site, it's just a piece of 1x stock glued to a piece of tempered hardboard, and then I have another piece of tempered hardboard to give me the right projection for the setup that I have in there. So that right there is the right projection for what we're doing. You see there's a small gap right there. That's completely okay as long as we have it touching at some point, because this thing will drop even lower. I think it goes from like a 1/2 inch to, like I said, 1 3/4 inches. So that's the basic setup. Pretty simplified little glued up thing I make here with scraps. So I'm going to get on cutting some of these. I already started cutting some, just trying to get things done, and then I actually already glued some of these up. So I'll show you guys how I glue these up too. This is just using the CA glue. So there you go. I'm going to get on these. I got a couple more to do. We'll get to work. And I'm just going to chop these up. I've got my saw set up here using the 2 stall stands like I like to do it. And then I've got one of my track tube brackets over here. I'm just using that as a stop. And what's cool about the way this worked out here at this job, the panels are 38 inches by 38 3/16. So what's cool about that is the offset panel molding, I can cut them all the same to 38 inches and that 3/16 will still get hidden, and I'll have a little bit of room. So that's not such a tight fit when I put those up in one piece. I just cradle it in position like that, making sure I push it all the way up against this stop block here that represents my 1x on the ceiling. Now that it's cradled in position, I'll just make my cut. Then I just send this over to my stop block. Now I'm keeping it cradled in position. So it's real important that these 2 blocks right here are the exact same width, because otherwise this thing is going to be twisted. And then when you go to make your 45 cut across this, you're going to be really sad when you go to put your panel moldings together, because they're not going to be lining up properly. So I just make sure these are exact. Then I can push up against these. I'm up against my stop block over there, and then I can just make this cut. And then I have my perfectly dimensioned panel molding, and I have an assembly line where I can just feed it through here. All right, 2 more panels to cut, and then we're done with this. I'm able to get all 4 sides out of one 16-foot board, which is convenient. And then you guys have seen me use this so many times, but it's the good old CA glue. Cyanacrylite, extra thick. Sell this on our website if you guys want to check it out, finishcarpentry.tv. It's activated with the spray here, and then we're going to put these 2 pieces together. You got to make sure these line up perfectly, because once we're together we're stuck. So there we go, we got our miter glued together there. And the way I get these to line up nice and tight is I just start kind of like I'm going to fold the miter, but I fold it where the part you see is basically like on a hinge. So that touches first, and then I just push it together. And then I apply pressure for a good 5 or 6 seconds. And then what we're left with is a nice tight joint there. Now for this small stuff, I don't mind using CA glue on pine, but typically bigger stuff, I like to use actual wood glue with pine, because the CA glue and the pine sometimes don't like to cooperate on bigger moldings. But for this, it's perfect because I can get it done quick and it'll hold over this short surface. And I use enough of it too. So I'm very, very liberal with it. Basically, you could say I'm like, when it comes to my glue, I'm like a CNN. And boom, there we go. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 more of these to glue up. So I'm gonna go ahead and get on that. And I'm just gonna do that without talking my gibberish to the camera, just so I can get it done. And then we'll go inside and install these. These things are a little awkward to put up by yourself, but as long as they're seated properly, I can hold one with my head, shoot it, and then shoot it again. And for these nails, I'm actually shooting into the 1x6. So it's getting a good grab. It's not just going straight up into the drywall. So I'm kind of angling it like right into that. Well, that's going to do it for today. And we were actually not able to finish today. I'm taking this back in there and we're going to leave it not till tomorrow, but the next day. I got something I got to do tomorrow, which is why I was trying to finish this today, but it's just not gonna work out for us today. What happened was there's a problem with the sheen. The sheen on that paint was not matching what was existing and was having some issues with that. So I'm gonna leave all the plastic up in here for today, and then next time in the next video, you'll see this done. Well, it is a windy dude out here and I forgot my microphone, but thankfully we're not really gonna be out here at all for this video. We're gonna go look at the ceiling because I got the right sheen this time on the paint. That always helps. And I'm gonna go show you guys the ceiling. I just finished spraying it. So the next morning here, I was gonna turn this into 3 videos, but I decided to just turn it into 2, not drag this thing out. We're done now. We just gotta take the plastic down, and we're doing a few other small projects while we're here today. But let's go check this out. So this is where I had my sprayer set up, just outside the room. We had more plastic here, but I went ahead and took all that down. And then we'll go in through here. Everything's covered. We got paper under this drop cloth, and we got our plastic all the way around the room here, draped all along the walls. So that's good because in one shot you cover the wall, the door, windows, shutters. And this is I think a 10-foot plastic, it's a 12-foot plastic, and that goes down to the floor, and no overspray can get in there. But check that out. That's the ceiling done with the panel moldings now installed on it, and it's almost done drying, but I figured I'd go ahead and show you now. because we got to tear all this plastic down. So that panel molding definitely makes a huge difference from what you guys saw in the last video. And no, I did not really cut the smoke detector wires and shove them back up in the ceiling. I tend to goof around a lot in these videos, but in all seriousness, I would never ever do anything like that. And if I did, I would definitely fray the wires. That way if a rat bites it or something, it'll spark and kill the rat. Alright, we are just about done here. Got the ceiling fan back in. But unfortunately, whenever we peeled our masking tape, it peeled off some of the paint there, you can see. So we're going to have to go back and touch all that up, you can see there. Just when you think you're done, you got another little task to do, but that's usually how it goes with these touch-ups. And yeah, other than that, we're pretty much done with this job. And no complaints on this one. This turned out great. Got the vent back up there. But I don't think I would build this in one unit again without having more support boards. Like you saw in the last video, me and John just holding that thing up. Guys, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you learned something from these last two videos. If you ever want to do a ceiling like this, it's pretty interesting and it's not overkill. You know, we considered a coppered ceiling in that room, but it was just too small and the ceiling was too low. But this is a nice touch to a lower ceiling. I just finished doing all the touch-ups, taking stuff out of the house now and doing our cleanup now. John's doing the final sweep. So that's it, another successful job in the books, and we will see you guys on the next video, which I think this weekend I'm going to go get the sanders, rent the sanders for my floor and give that a shot. So thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.